Welcome back to another Akeyless Getting Started video. In our last couple of videos, we learned how to configure and install the Remote Access Bastion, as well as adding a Postgres application to our Zero Trust portal in order to access it through the Bastion. And in this video, we're going to learn how to connect directly to your resources through the CLI using the Secure Remote Access Bastion. So the first thing we need to do is look at our prerequisites as always. And in order to use Akeyless Connect, which is the command we're going to use to create this connection, you need the CLI version 1.42 or higher. You need an SSH certificate issuer for SSH specifically. And you need the Secure Remote Access Bastion. And you're going to make sure to have OpenSSH version 7.2 or higher on your target servers. Now, before we move forward, let's quickly talk about the SSH certificate issuer. In order to make this work, what you're going to have to do is go into your account and you have your SSH certificate issuer right here. And what you need to make sure of is that in your access role, which is our access role that we're using until now is here. And what we need to do is we need to actually give the option to have read access on the SSH certificate issuer. So if I add the SSH certificate issuer and I give it read and list permissions, go ahead and click add. Now I make sure that I have the ability to use the SSH certificate issuer in order to connect with the Bastion, because the way the connection works is the user connects to the Bastion via the SSH certificate issuer, and then the Bastion goes ahead and connects to the application or the resource for us. So once we have that, what we're going to do is give some default information for our Bastion, for our access, and what we're going to do is create a file called akeylessconnect.rc. So if I go ahead to my terminal, go ahead and use my editor of choice and open the file. I'm going to copy the information in here, paste it into that file, and all we're going to do for this demo is just add the certificate issuer name into here. Now, this is the certificate issuer that the user will be using in order to access the various resources. And in this case, yes, it's the same certificate, and the best practice would be to ensure that a user is given specific network policies in order to access the resources through the Bastion only. That is something that is done on the user's side, on the organization side. And that is all we need for this specific file. We can go ahead and save it. And one more thing that I want to discuss is the access that we give a user to a Bastion. We want to also specify what Bastion a user has access to. And if we go into the advanced configuration for our secure remote access, we can see that one of the options here is the redirect to Bastion URLs, where we're allowing the user to only use specific Bastions. So another hardening option here for security reasons would be to go into that file we created in the previous video where we installed the Remote Access Bastion, and go ahead and update this. So what we can do is go ahead and grab our values file. So once I open the file, I can go ahead and scroll down to allowed Bastion URLs, which we can find right over here. So you can specify that for the users in this file, they can only use a specific Bastion. So that's how we're going to harden the access users have here. So if I go ahead and edit this, paste in my Bastion URL, right over there, and this will be something else we can do to harden our security. And once I save that, what I want to make sure is I want to update the Helm chart. So SRA Bastion is the name. So what I'm going to do is I can go back to the Secure Remote Access Bastion right over here and in the docs, and I can grab this command. And what I'm doing is I'm actually going to run Helm upgrade, and the name of the release is called SRA Bastion. Hit enter, and it's going to update the configuration for our Bastion in order to enable the user to only be able to use that Bastion in order to log into the various resources. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is go ahead, we can go back to Akeyless Connect. And once we have everything ready and set for us, what we can do is run a couple of Akeyless Connect examples. One will do a basic SSH into a remote machine, and for another one, we will do our Postgres application. We'll log in directly to the Postgres CLI. So if we grab this Akeyless Connect option here, we can see that it says Akeyless Connect -T. This is going to be the user name and the host name of the remote machine. So in this case, it's Ubuntu, and the name in my machine is SSH. Okay, that's my machine's host name. Then I'm going to add the Bastion that we're using. This is the SSH Bastion. So we're going to add the SSH Bastion here with port 22. And the path to the SSH certificate issuer is not necessary here because we already added the SSH certificate issuer in our RC file. So it's going to automatically use that certificate issuer. So we can go ahead and click enter, and what you can have here is in this example is you are redirected to your IDP for verification. So put in password, and we've also secured it with a second layer of authentication, and that MFA pulls up Google Authenticator. And once I have successfully authenticated, I can go back into the terminal, and I see that it is configured the session. It issues the SSH certificates, and we see it says you are connecting to your remote server via Akeyless Bastion, and we are logged into our remote machine. So let's go ahead and exit, and that is the first option we are running for this demo. And next option we're going to do is we're going to log in using Akeyless Connect to our Postgres server. So if I grab, for example, this Mongo command, instead of that, I'm going to simply use my Postgres location. So that is the location, port is 5432, and we are going to put in the same Bastion as well into here. Okay, add that, port 22. And the last thing we want to do is give the path to our dynamic secret, and that is psql.ds. So if I go ahead and hit enter, it will go ahead and configure. Now, the IDP was already logged into, so it's not going to ask us again. And we're connecting, and we are then connected to our Postgres CLI directly. And that is how you use the Akeyless Connect command in order to directly log into your SSH remote machines or to native CLIs through your terminal using the SRA Bastion. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.